Here we are at the Bowman Francis Lake Trailhead here in Wallowa-Whitman National Forest in the great state of Oregon. This is a gateway to Eagle Cap Wilderness. Let's go get our hike on. Here is Bowman Trail number 1651. We're going to Chimney Lake and perhaps beyond. So it's about 10.6 miles and about 2,500 foot elevation gain if we just go to Chimney Lake. We pass Laverty Lake on the way. What I'd like to do, we'll see, is go on to Hobo Lake, Lookout Mountain, and Bear Lake, and perhaps up north to Woods Lake. So we will see where we go and how things play out. Exact elevation and mileage TBD. Let's get our hike on. As we continue along the Bowman Trail towards Chimney Lake, you start on the trailhead side, grab your Eagle Cap Wilderness permit, cross the road, and a bridge over the Lusty River. Check this out. Pretty solid bridge. And look at that. That is gorgeous. That is a beautiful Lusty River. This stream, oh, that is gorgeous. And we are officially on the correct side of Chimney Lake. And we are beginning our ascent. So when you first get here, you park at the trailhead, fill out your Eagle Cap Wilderness permit, and then go through a little section of the forest that parallels the road for just a couple hundred feet. And you cross the road, you cross the bridge, and we are in the Wonderland Zone. Haven't seen a sign yet, but we will be entering Eagle Cap Wilderness at some point. The trailhead started at 5,200 feet, and we are now ascending. Very rocky trail. Definitely want sturdy hiking boots for this one. I'm a Lova and a Mammoth guy. Got Mammoth on right now. Yukon is the style. Not an endorsement or anything, I just like it. Looks like we got our first little crossing here. Watch your step. Very pretty. Not too hard, but so cautiously. Just crossed this little creek river section right here. I would recommend walking across that log, leaning your weight so that you have your arms on the upper log. Pretty simple to do. So the trail starts with a long rocky ascent. We're now entering Eagle Cap Wilderness, Wallowa-Whitman National Forest. Got a first rocky switchback. After you cross the bridge, first section is a rocky ascent. So get your blood pumping. And we're going about 2,500 feet in about 5.3 miles. So up is the name of the game, my friend. Before starting a hike like this, I always recommend a big protein breakfast. Camping over at Shady Campground, or 2.7 miles down the road. It's also the shared trailhead for Maxwell Lake. If you come camping in this Lostine first come, first serve developed campsite and even dispersed campsite zone, and you're not doing 2-pan trailhead into Eagle Cap proper, the wilderness area, lakes, basin, etc. You're just staying in this zone. Your two most premium hikes are definitely going to be the one I'm on now, the Chimney Lake from the Bowman Francis Trailhead, and of course Maxwell Lake. My opinion, after having driven up and down this whole strip, I think Shady Campground is definitely the best one. There's a few sites right up against Lostine River. I'd recommend that. But if you're a fisherman, which I know a lot of people in this area are, you can come here indefinitely. Some world-class fishing, Lostine River Zone. Very rocky area we are in. Oh, you gotta love Eagle Cap Wilderness. This area is just magical. I really do believe Eagle Cap Wilderness, one of the crown jewels of Oregon. I think Three Sisters Wilderness in Central Oregon. Eagle Cap Wilderness, arguably top two. I know everybody will say Mount Hood Wilderness, which is definitely one of the top ones, mainly because of the Timberline Loop, which is epic, but so I'm not taking away from Timberline Loop. It is legit one of the best areas in Oregon. I like a little bit more of a drier profile of Three Sisters Wilderness, like more of a pine and granite base instead of a Douglas fir and underbrush base. So for that reason, I covet Three Sisters Wilderness and Eagle Cap a little bit more than Mount Hood Wilderness, but Timberline Loop is awesome. You hear the sound of water roaring. Come up and see what we have here. And look at this. Very nice. Well, this is particularly gorgeous. Shortly after you start ascending, raging and roaring on by, and gives you expansive canyon view, your first ones, as you're starting to earn the view on your ascent to Chimney Lake. Very beautiful, my friend. I'm digging this rocky zone here in Eagle Cap Wilderness. As we continue to hike along, so you get a nice little waterfall respite just a few minutes in, 3/10 of a mile into your Chimney Lake ascent. I always feel like one of the characteristic signs of a wilderness area is the rocky trail we are currently traversing. Definitely want to have proper footwear, hiking boots. I will say I've noticed several of these along the trail. I think they're meant to be snow runoff. Chutes. You're doing a continuous ascent. I'm a believer that slow and steady wins the race. Better go a little slower. Maintain your breathing. Don't redline. If you go a little faster than you're comfortable, get ahead of your breath. It's when your fatigue really starts to set in. Also triggers a little bit of a fight or flight. So you're better off going slower, smelling the roses, keeping your breath, have a much more pleasant experience. And it takes as long as it takes. I'm actually that way driving too. I'd rather get in the right lane and go 55 than other people in a hot hurry whiz by me at 80 miles per hour. It's just a life perspective. It suits you well on the hiking trail. So my guide for elevation gain, 0 to 1,000 is easy, 1,000 to 2,000 is moderate, 2,000 to 3,000 is hard. This one's at least 2,500 up to about 4,400, so this is hard, and if you do all the extensions, it's very hard. Then I do 3,000 plus is very hard. So just a general rule of thumb. It's not just about the raw number though, it's also about the incline, because it's kind of counterintuitive. If you have 3,000 foot elevation gain in a 4 mile out and back, 2 miles each way, that's a tough hike, because you got 2 miles, 3,000 foot, it's going to be straight up percent incline. Whereas take that same 3,000 feet and spread it across 10 miles, you actually have a much more gradual incline, a lower percentage. So most people think, oh, 10 miles is harder, but actually it's easier. If you're operating the assumption that incline is always the hardest part of a hike, which I think it is, then a more gradual incline is preferable with a longer net mileage hike. So I just say that, but I put the range I gave earlier as far as difficulty ratings for elevation. There's a giant asterisk because the percent incline does matter. Hello there, sunshine. The sun lighting up for Eagle Cap Wilderness Wonderland Zone. See, we are gaining elevation. We were down there at the road at the river minutes ago. Now we are mountain goat Sherpaing up Chimney Lake Trail. So we've got a little shade coming up. It will be a welcome respite. So after an ascent switchback section, essentially climbing a hill, quasi-mountain, you do get up to the forest level. Where I'm at now. Look at that sun. It's ridiculous. Beautiful. So now we're ascending the forest. Get you a couple yields. First off, the incline isn't as bad. Second off, you do get some pockets of shade. More of an indirect sun instead of a direct baking sun. Although as you can see straight ahead, another little exposed ridgeline zone. We'll say it's hide and seek peaks of the sun in this section. I never get over how beautiful the wilderness, rocky trails are. This right here is quintessential Eagle Cap as far as its ecological footprint. Definitely a drier footprint with a lot of pines, a lot of rocks, my kind of setup. It's the sun on our ridgeline. Oh my gosh, look at that view of the mountains across the way with that sun. That is gorgeous. Very cool little rocky section. Here's the trail as we continue our glorious ascension up to the Chimney Lake. The sun is getting pretty hot. Today's July 13th, 2024, and it's getting hot, my friend. Started this crack of dawn. Nevertheless, as you're hiking up, the sun is taking its prominent position in the sky for a July day, and it is hot. Fahrenheit eking up by the minute. We're starting to get prominent mountain views straight ahead. Very beautiful. Look at that. Gorgeous, my friend. Definitely an exposed section of trail. Look at that. That is gorgeous. As we continue hike along. And back to the shade. Where do we like it? I'm a sucker for this alpine topography. This is quintessential Eagle Cap Wilderness rocky trail with all these alpine trees. Very beautiful. My kind of wilderness adventuring right here. I always covet the alpine zones, and what makes Eagle Cap Wilderness so special is this one giant alpine zone, top 2 in the state, maybe even top 5, top 10 in the country, depending on your criterion. If you're coming from somewhere else in the country, even Europe or Asia, looking for a multi-day backpacking wonderland, hard not to think that Eagle Cap should be near the top of your list. Not a lot of places are gonna be better than Eagle Cap Wilderness, in all candor. This is a very pretty little alpine trail. Oh, I'm digging this. This is gorgeous. I'm just enjoying this trail. And you've got the mountain silhouette in the background. But this trail, its own right, is pretty cool. You appreciate every step of the hike, and the destination is just the cherry on top. My approach. Here's our mountain wonderland. Scan down, Eagle Cap Wilderness. Rocky avalanche down below. Here's our trail. And can I interest you? Eagle Cap Wonderland Zone. And back here is our trail again. The sun over our gorgeous horizon. This is so beautiful. Eagle Cap Wilderness, as far as the eye can see. As we continue to hike along. Heard a lot of birds on this hike so far. Not a bird aficionado, so I can't tell you. That's the rare lone-tail squall. Only 12 of them alive in the world, and found one. Don't have those skills. This is beautiful, my friend. Very beautiful. We seem to do a little ridgeline zone, and we're back, turning towards the forest. I'm going to interest you in an alpine woodland. Look at this. This is gorgeous. Oh, this is gorgeous. Love me an alpine trail. Meandering on a little indented forest alpine ridgeline zone. Oh, this is gorgeous. Feels good to have a little respite from the constant incline. Now we're in a downright shaded section. Almost a little cool and breezy through here. Total respite from the sun. A little break from the ridge lines and the relentless ascension. A nice little area right in here. A little reward zone for your mountain goat Sherpa-ing. Oh, I gotta say, if you're doing these hikes responsibly, I highly recommend starting at sunrise or 4, 5, 6 in the morning. Even still, you get a little bit of sun on the ridgeline as you're ascending. Not too crazy, but start sweating a little bit. After paralleling the ridgeline for a bit with some expansive views, now we have turned into the forest proper, and it's shaded and flatter, and it's a nice respite to collect yourself after the first burn zone. Feel the burn from the sun and the incline. Now we're just kind of funny, actually. You get a little sweat going from the first section. Getting here, it's so windy. The wind hits your sweat, it's actually a little chilly, but feels good. You can hear the sweet sounds, a raging, roaring water feature. Getting hints there. I think we're gonna have direct contact with it up here. Let's go take a look. Yes, indeed. Right up here. Oh, this is gorgeous. This little money section. Oh, look at this influence. This is gorgeous. This is an epic little money shot area. Look at this. Oh, this is beautiful. We've got 2 forks, 2 arms. This little waterfall zone. Meandering all the way down. Definitely a mosquito range, but nevertheless quite beautiful. Now this is a difficult crossing, my friend. I would not recommend crossing there. The trail wants you to cross right there. So I'm going to show you how beautiful this is. I would actually hike up this little side trail, and over there there's a much more comfortable log that feels a heck of a lot safer than trying to cross that. That looks downright sketch to me. I wouldn't even try that. Probably a time of the year thing as far as snow melt, water flow. So that's my Chimney Lake ascension crossing tip. There's 4 creek crossings similar to this across the whole hike, but this is definitely the hardest. I would go up trail and find your own path. I would not try to cross here. That's my personal recommendation. Do what you want at your own risk. Be safe enough. And I've come here. I'm thinking, first of all, I'll just show you how cool this is, and this is the side trail I'm going up. I'm thinking right here is actually a much better crossing if I have to cross this. Right to the left of these 4 logs, and then it looks like there's a log across over there. Go up that little incline into the forest down there, and then descend back down to the trail, which should be down that way. So that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, so I just crossed this section. I'm gonna cross the log on the far end, over this log and up this little section. Highly recommend doing this if you're all sketched out by the heavy flow crossing on the main trail. I was much more comfortable doing this. It's also a pretty smooth forest section back down to the main trail. So highly recommend this. It's a nice little hack to get around that ferocious little crossing on the trail. Come up here, it's much safer. Also kind of gives you some different, better vantage points that you wouldn't otherwise get if you come up here. So nice little crossing hack on your way to Chimney Lake. Little crossing here. A lot of crossings on Chimney Lake Trail, more so than I anticipated, but that's okay. And up here, look at that, it's pretty. There's your crossing. I don't know if it makes sense to do that vlog or, but definitely a lot of bugs. So I'm gonna keep moving. The sun peeking through Eagle Cap Wilderness Wonderland Zone. Need to ascend. So far there's been 3 creek crossings. I wasn't aware there was that much water crossing action. Oh, this looks pretty epic. Coming up here, got the sun peeking through some pine trees. And I feel like we're coming up to a pretty magical spot coming up here. Oh, look at how gorgeous this is. Oh, look at this. Now this is an Eagle Cap Wilderness Wonderland Zone. Vast panorama. Got the sunbeams, the glorious sun on today, July 13th, 2024, lighting up our Eagle Cap Wilderness Basin. Look at this. This is gorgeous. The views just keep going over here. Look how amazing this is. It's darn epic. We are still ascending like Bowman Creek. We are 3 water crossings in so far. Here's our 4th one. Crystal clear water. Very beautiful. Ooh, good water coming from there. And here's our trail. Let's keep going. So this is your 4th crossing. I personally prefer getting my feet wet and being on more solid ground. I think it's a sucker's play to walk on those dry rocks next to the precipice. The most dangerous alignment is you step on one of those rocks, slip, fall, hit your head. If you're by yourself, you could die. If you're with a group, you can get a concussion if you hit your head. I'd rather just come closer to me on this side of the log and get my feet wet. That's why I have nice Gore-Tex hiking boots, Mammoth, walk across sure footing, get across safely. I think the falling, hitting your head hazard is far worse than the getting wet hazard. One of the cool things about this Chimney Lake trail is you get all these little horizon Eagle Cap Wilderness views. The sun, silhouette of mountain peaks. We climb this gorgeous rocky trail. I love the views down in Eagle Cap Wilderness. Ridgeline zone. This is really beautiful. The color of these rocks. White in some places. Granite, you can see the sparkle. If you've got a granite countertop, this is the kind of material it comes from. Take some of this and polish it. Got your countertop. Walking on sparkling granite rock through an Alpine Forest Wonderland Zone. Rocks, gorgeous zone. cool little rock section we're approaching. Watching my step, of course. And we made it. And around here, look at this. Up, gorgeous rocks. This is beautiful. Through the rock section. Kind of a rocky section in its own right over here. This is a pristine alpine zone. Clean, serene, and pristine. So I'm on the main trail here. I think this might be a backcountry campsite right here. You do get to this split right here. So you can go that way or this way, just say trail this way. So we're gonna go to the right. If you do a lot of wilderness hiking, you can kind of just start to tell when you get to a new section, the line of sight changes, the topography changes, the trees, the trail, background noise, the ambiance. So I would say, starting to get to the upper zone for Laverty Lake and Chimney Lake, we're getting pretty close. 4 water crossings in, a couple thousand feet elevation gain in. Definitely a rewarding hike, I'm enjoying it. Great alpine, rocky, Eagle Cap Wilderness Zone, picturesque alpine forest, some good panorama ridgeline views down on the massive forest basin. 4 pretty high quality water crossings. If you approach them all smartly, none of them were too sketchy. The third one, I would hike up the forest and cross at a different spot. I wouldn't cross at the trail. The water levels are way too high. That seemed too dangerous to me. But the 4 all seem doable with the right vector of attack. And now here we are, walking through a clean, serene, and pristine, pin drop quiet, other than the sound of my footsteps and rambling, alpine zone. You can go beyond Chimney to Hobo and Lookout Mountain and Bear Lake and Wood Lake. I don't know if I'm going to do that today. Eagle Cap Wilderness Zone is one of my favorite areas in Oregon, so kind of thinking about perhaps coming back doing a backpacking trip and really saturating all those other lakes. I feel like if I do them now as an out and back, I'm just going to barely touch on them. I'm kind of thinking I'll devote that as its own, hopefully epic backcountry camping trip. You know, the thing I'm noticing right now is the silence. I think for a long part of the hike, we were near various bodies of water, Mosquitoes River and Bowman Creek, and like I said, we did 4 creek crossings. So you had a dull roar in the background, ambiance wise, like the entire hike. We came around a bend into this proper alpine forest for the first time, noticing like a pin drop silence. So leads me to believe we're lake bound now. And actually, after all that background hum, this is kind of nice. Just hike for a bit in the absolute silence. Try to become at one with the forest for a couple minutes. I would say here's a great little backcountry campsite. Fine enough for your tent. It's right next to a little section that meanders underneath the trail. A little water trickle down. Also gives you a place where you can fill up your water. So right over there is actually a really high quality backcountry campsite. This water access right here. Coming up to a trail junction. I'm going to turn right onto Laverty and Chimney Lake. Let's keep going this way. So elevation check. Get to that junction. Got to turn right to go to Chimney Lake. You're at about 7,200 feet. So Laverty's at 7,500. Chimney's at 7,600. So good news is, if you're over the mountain goat Sherping portion of this hike, it's a good thing because you're almost to the top. Trailhead was at 5,200. So right now we're at 7,200. So we've gone up 2,000 feet. And we're in the last few hundred feet, 400 or 500 feet left. So we're like 300 feet to Laverty, like 400 feet to our friend Chimney Lake. This is a popular backpacking lake, so when we pulled in or cracked it on, there was already 4 cars there. I drove through here yesterday and I think it was the same cars, so they're not early bird day hikers. Considering it was Friday night to Saturday, I think all 4 of them are camping in the area, so I'm expecting to see some tents. Down a beautiful little area here. Cool little Boulder Zone we're hiking through. I gotta say, this particular section really rocks. It always feels good to be in mop-up mode. We're doing this as a day hike, not a backpacking trip, so we're up around 2,100 feet. We're like 200 to 300 feet left. That's always a good sense of accomplishment after you put down a few hours of just straight mountain goat Sherping up inclines, eco-cap wilderness. It's nice to get up to a flatter section where you can enjoy some lakes and pop a squat and have some lunch and relax a little bit before your descent down. It's also a good feeling to know that the lion's share of the work is done. Area like this, the ascent is the difficult part. So going down is a heck of a lot easier than going back up. That's why it's good to start this early in the day. Try to go up when it's 40s and 50s, not when it's 70s, 80s, 90s. All the difference in the world. I would argue if you started Bowman Trail up to Chimney in the afternoon, that would be downright dangerous. You better have a Powerade or something in your hand, or a Gatorade. The direct sun, the steep mountainside is a very dangerous combination. You can get in trouble real quick. Hearing my first plane overhead. Doesn't have as many planes as Central Oregon. Nice little water section. Since it's a bit buggy, so I'm not gonna hang out there. Keep going. I'm also eager to get to the out end point of my out and back. Lo and behold, I see our first snow. Wasn't expecting that. It is July 13th. There's snow there and snow there. A couple holdouts. I do know July is right around when it was melting, but I thought it was clear by now, but a couple little pockets. Ooh, sensing I'm about to come up to a glorious overlook right over here. And yes, indeed, look at that. That is gorgeous. Oh, can I interest you in a mountain view? That is beautiful. This is an earn the view. You come up a couple thousand feet to feast your eyes on that mountain right there, but very well worth it. Look at that. Eagle Cap Wilderness, look at that. This is a picturesque dream zone. One of the best wilderness areas in the entire state of Oregon. Maybe even one of the best wilderness zones in the entire country. Very legit and very gorgeous. As we continue along, a little bit of direct sun in this section. Actually feels kind of nice right now. I was getting a little cold. You'll get sweaty from the sun, go into a cold, windy section, start to technically chill, and just in a nick of time, get some of those sun rays to balance you back. Right now we're on the approach to Laverty Lake, and then it's a hop, skip, and a jump from there to Chimney Lake. So it's a pretty epic hike. And we've got another sign on the tree dead ahead. So let's see what this says. Fire is prohibited beyond this point. It's a good sign. We're in the final section before Laverty Lake. I've already had the no fires beyond this point sign. Typically that's within 250 feet from most lakes, although it could be 500 feet. Bottom line is, it really feels like we're in the final ascent to Laverty Lake. Laverty Lake is 7,500 feet. Chimney Lake is 7,600 feet. Started at 5,200 feet at the Bowman Francis Lake Trailhead. So we are in mop-up mode for our elevation gain. And look at that view of the mountain straight ahead. Eagle Cap Wilderness is one of the most mountain-rific, eye-candy zones in the entire state of Oregon. Really a top 5 or top 10 in the entire country. If you're a backpacking aficionado, hard for me not to think that you won't fall in love with Eagle Cap Wilderness. Good amount of little pops of purple and pink flowerage along the trail. Brighten you up if you're a little exhausted from the ascension. The relentless switchbacks take you up to the zone. Once you're up here though, I think it's worth it. Because you are at an Alpine Wonderland Heaven Zone, my friend. See, I would view this, see straight ahead past these rocks. Oh, and there's a couple spots, perfect backcountry camp zone right here. You got rocks there. This is your domain. This is your trail access. And I see Laverty Lake at 7,500 feet. Our first glimpses of it. So got this area over here. And there's beautiful Laverty Lake. A lot of grass on this side of the lake. A lot of places you could potentially put a tent. I don't know if that's swampy or if that's solid ground, but definitely looks like a backpacker's haven to me. Also got a lot of flat rocks up here. I'm sure there's a lot of places you could throw up a tent here above the rocks if so inclined, or you can go down to the grass. Now the grass is probably going to be a little bit more mosquito-y depending on the time of year. Look at that. That's beautiful Laverty Lake. Look at the mountain cliff. I love it. Mountain face. It's gorgeous. Based on the time of year, going down to Shoreline might be a mosquito-y boggy mess. This is July 13th. just literally became accessible to even come up here the last couple weeks as far as the annual snow melt. So right now is probably the worst time of the year for mosquitoes. So I probably wouldn't go down to Shoreline in July. Probably going to be your worst mosquito alignment. But maybe the wind keeps you safe. I don't know. Look at the incredible beauty of Laverty Lake. Pan up so you can see the towering mountain face, the beautiful Laverty Lake. This is at 7,500 foot elevation gain here in Eagle Cap Wilderness. It's a long trail. The trail I'm on ultimately takes us another 100 feet over to Chimney Lake. This Laverty Lake is a looker actually. The shoreline over there is pretty cool. You can see why Laverty Lake is considered a beauty day looker. A bit green. I know some of the lakes up here are a little bit more mineral rich. So you're gonna have more of a turquoise, blue, amber color, depending on the mineral composition. This looks more like a classic forest lake, it's just green. So I think Chimney Lake would be considered more of a looker than Laverty Lake, but I think that's pretty gorgeous. Pan up and try to get the mountain face in it. Look at that. It's pretty gorgeous. Got your mountain face, sheer rock cliff, and beautiful Laverty Lake. Oh, this is gorgeous. I'm a fan. I'm also kind of scoping out backcountry campsites. You see this little isthmus right here? That looks like a great place to camp. And I guess there is the grassland across the way. I'm always a little bit more scared to camp in grasslands for mosquito reasons, but if you come in September, then it nullifies that. And over here, see that shoreline? Oh, this is gorgeous. Beautiful Laverty Lake. Lots of different access points. This is my first time here, so I'm checking out the lot lines and the little trail system and the lines of sight as I go. Oh my gosh, look at that. Pan up. There is your mountain face, and there is Laverty Lake. Pan down so you can see Green Lake in all splendor. It does look like this right here is a little access point to that little isthmus that might be the best backcountry campsite here. I think I am compelled and inclined to take it. Taking a little side trail, I believe to be the most premium backcountry campsite here at Laverty Lake. So you got lake on that side. Oh, hello there. You got lake on this side. Got your gorgeous mountain face. And you got this little isthmus, I'm calling it, surrounded on both sides by Laverty Lake. Probably swim in that area right here. A little bit of a swampy part around it. And look at this. I think the most premium backcountry campsite here at Laverty Lake. Put your tent right here, and this little bay, this entire lake is your oyster. Come over here. You got a great place to sit, great place to put your gear. Got a nice log here. And oh my gosh. Oh, this is the look of Laverty Lake right here. You got your money shot of the mountain. You got this little shoreline. This is your private shoreline. If you backcountry camp right here, come hang out right here and get this money shot. In fact, there's a little log over here you can sit on and hang out. Look at this. This is gorgeous. This is a dream spot right here. Sit right here and look. Beautiful Laverty Lake. I'm going to show you right here is your seat. Also say you can, if you want to be in the shade, you can actually come back here, sit right here, pop a squat, turn around, and this is what you see. Calm, tranquil, peaceful Laverty Lake. Man, look at that mountain face. That is gorgeous. You know, I was more focused on Chimney when I came, but I'm actually falling in love with Laverty Lake. This is awesome. There's nobody here. It appears to me to be a premium backcountry campsite right here on this isthmus. Look at this. This is gorgeous, my friend. We are now going past Laverty Lake at 7,500 feet to Chimney Lake, the end destination we're out and backpack today. At 7,600 feet, so we're a few tenths, another 100 feet in a bit of mop out mode though, and this isn't a steep ascent, it's a well-graded trail, so essentially we're in the Money Alpine Lake Wonderland Zone. Hello, Laverty Lake. Gosh, this is beautiful. We just went over and checked out that isthmus across the way. I think that's definitely the premium backcountry camping site. This is a Alpine Lake Wonderland Zone. I am digging it. Look at that. Oh, this is magical. Down there, crystal clear green water. Beautiful mountain face, towering, framing the lake, Laverty Lake, and giving us perspective. We meander by the shoreline of Laverty Lake. And we're on the edge. One more look up at the mountain face and the edge. The edge of Laverty Lake and the edge of glory. Now we will do a little alpine hiking, Eagle Cap Wilderness Rocky Wonderland Zone, and we'll be to the Chimney Lake. We are in the final approach to Chimney Lake. I'm detecting a panoramic ridgeline view around the next bend. So let's check this out. This, my friend, is an Alpine Wonderland Zone. Got the mountains straight ahead. This gorgeous rocky trail. Love the pops of color. Big step. Oh, this is so gorgeous. And down on Eagle Cap Wilderness. Another gorgeous alpine zone we're hiking through on our way to Chimney Lake. Stop and pan out. Gosh, this is gorgeous. Look at how beautiful this is. The beautiful Eagle Cap Wilderness. And we are almost there. Trail's a bit flooded right here. Mosquito hordes to chill. Cool rock. People like are going through an Alpine Forest zone. Oh, this is so beautiful. Can't even say in words how gorgeous Alpine zones are. Pops of vibrant color. That pristine Alpine zone feel. Clean, serene, and pristine. Eagle Cap Wilderness. Section's a little muddy. Here's some water. Thinking we're very close to Chimney Lake at this junction. Past Laverty, which I was impressed with. It's a pretty high quality backcountry campsite, but a little shaded just before Chimney Lake. A bit of a backcountry camping zone. Here's another really high quality backcountry campsite because I can see on the other side of that the beautiful Chimney Lake. My first glimpse happens to be right when I'm looking at this backcountry campsite. Oh my gosh, I'm coming down here. Look at that. Here's another backcountry campsite. So you got some world-class backcountry campsites right on the shorelines, the banks of beautiful Chimney Lake. Okay, so this, my friend, absolutely spectacular. Look at that. I love that little island in the middle. This lake has a little bit different color than Laverty did. It's got more of a mineral composition, blues, a little bit of amber. Very beautiful. Here's a great little access point from this backcountry campsite. You can refill your ghost straw. And look at that. Oh my gosh. Is this not legend? I am falling in love with Chimney Lake. This is beautiful. Well worth 10.6 miles and 2,500 feet. This, my friend, is gorgeous. Look at the incredible beauty of Chimney Lake. I'm here in Eagle Cap Wilderness, Eastern Oregon, and I just hiked up 10.6 miles, 2,500 foot elevation gain round trip, so I can get to the shoreline of this beautiful Chimney Lake. It's got aquamarine blue, sapphire blue, amber, a good mineral composition, mix of sparkly colors, absolutely gorgeous. My humble opinion, this is a top 5 lake, Alpine Lake here in Eagle Cap Wilderness. I would also lump this with Maxwell Lake and of course Glacier Lake. I would definitely say this is a top 5 lake in all of Eagle Cap Wilderness. Definitely worth hiking up here. Could do this as an out and back, like I just did, 10.6 mile round trip, 2,500 foot elevation gain. Or you can come up here and backpack and use this as a launch pad to explore Lookout Mountain and Hobo Lake and Bear Lake and Woods Lake. So that's probably the better of the two options, candidly, but I did this as a day hike because I am currently staying at Shady Campground down along Lostine River. Nevertheless, Chimney Lake, one of the very best lakes here at Eagle Cap Wilderness. Absolutely beautiful, my friend. So I'm right here at the edge of Chimney Lake. Walk right in if so inclined. Look at that color. Oh, I'm digging this. Oh, doesn't that look like you just want to walk right in, take off your clothes and go swim, cool off a bit. It's a mineral spectrum blend of blues and ambers. Minerals in the lake from this Eagle Cap Wilderness Alpine Zone give it its unique, distinct color. Oh, this is beautiful, my friend. The incredible, spectacular, clean, serene, and pristine Chimney Lake. This is beautiful. As we continue to circumnavigate Chimney Lake, loving the color of that lake. Some mineral colors, blues and greens and ambers. Oh my, this is gorgeous. Chimney Lake is definitely a looker. A top 5 in the entire Eagle Cap Wilderness. This guy's humble opinion, my friend. Look at this. Oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. Ridiculous. A lake wonderland. Look at that. That is gorgeous. As we continue to hike along, continuing our circumnavigation of Chimney Lake, right on the shoreline. Oh, look at that. Look at that, my friend. As we continue to hike along shoreline, Chimney Lake. You know, it's a good problem to have when you can't identify the quite shade of green or blue the mineral colored, serene, clean, and pristine Alpine Lake is. That, my friend, is a good problem to have indeed. I've noticed that Lostine River's got a certain shade of jade green to it. It's unique to it. And this has got a bit of that and a bit of some shades of blue. So that's a good perspective right there of Chimney Lake. You get the towering mountain and the serene and pristine lake. Oh, this is gorgeous, my friend. As we continue to hike along, bit of a rocky wonderland, my friend. These views of the lake. Oh yes, did I mention our pristine Chimney Lake? Clean, serene, and pristine Chimney Lake. Eagle Cap Wilderness, Alpine Lake, wonder of the world. Look at that. It's gonna be done as a day hike or a backcountry camping trip. Oh, this is absolutely gorgeous. You can see it's very well worth the 10.6 mile, 2,500 foot elevation gain round trip hike to get to the shoreline. Several very high quality backcountry campsites right on the shoreline. So this is designed to be a backpacker's paradise, my friend. Some lakes you get up there and there's not really anywhere to camp, but this is not one of those lakes. There is a lot of very high quality camping. Several sites right up against the lake. Oh, this, my friend, might be the best view of the lake so far. Oh, this is gorgeous. Can I interest you in an Alpine Lake wonderland? I'm here in Eagle Cap Wilderness, Wallowa-Whitman National Forest here in the great state of Oregon. And look at this lake. This is a backpacker's paradise. There's several backcountry campsites actually over there on the right. Those granite cliffs. And look at the color of that lake. Is that green? Is that blue? I don't know. It's a mineral spectrum and it's gorgeous. This, my friend, is quintessential Eagle Cap Wilderness. A top 5 lake in this entire area, in my humble opinion. The beautiful Chimney Lake. Absolutely spectacular.